Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
And here we go. It is Monday, October 3rd. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network. WoodwardSports.com. Get in the Woodward Sports chat. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
I'm used to seeing you guys 5 days a week. We missed Thursday with each other, so I missed you Thursday. I missed you this weekend. I'm going to tell you like this. It is good to see the team. That's Fletch, JB, Maz, and my brother, Ryan Ermanni.
Braylon, we bring in the great Tom Mazawey.
Hey, fellas.
Good afternoon to you, man.
Welcome back. I missed you guys on Friday. Braylon did a bang-up job over the weekend in Iowa City. I'm glad he's back home, though.
Hey, man, this is where you make the donuts, man.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Maz, can you stop kicking our butt?
Hey.
With these picks? Jeez Louise.
Move that, Mike. What is that shirt you have on, Braylon?
So there was a saying that was created last year, and I think it goes a little something. Oh, I'm sorry. There was a saying created last year, and it goes, "Tuck coming, Tuck coming." Well, now entering this year, considering they're 2 and 3.
When are you gonna get here, Tuck?
Hey, man.
When are you gonna get here?
When you gonna get here? And the thing why I don't mind trolling Tuck and Michigan State on this is when we lost to Appalachian State in 2008, all the people from Michigan State were wearing Appalachian State t-shirts. So you know what? It's a rivalry. It's healthy. You give it, you get it back. Tuck, not coming.
If you would like to get one of these t-shirts for your Michigan friends, to troll your Michigan State friends, head on over to WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab at the top right of your screen, and you can pick one of these up. We've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies.
By the way, the material is very nice.
Let me know
Shout out
when
to Justin and Stick, man.
gets here.
Hey, by the way, who coined that phrase?
You did, Tom
Thank you.
Mazawey. Very good.
I won't get credit for it, though.
No, we turned it into a t-shirt and a hoodie. Let me know when Tuck gets here. Michigan State loses again. We'll do some college football.
Our guy, Brian Masalam, could tell us about that. He remembers that.
Let me know when he gets here.
He remembers.
Tuck coming. Tuck
Love you,
still
Brian.
coming. Flat tire, couple of flat tires on the way here.
I had a flat tire.
You did?
Yes.
When?
This morning.
Get out of here.
Yes.
How'd you fix it?
I pulled into Bell Tire. I'm like, "Can you fix this?" And yeah, if you could leave it. I'm like, "I'm on my way to work."
Was it a
so
plug?
we just filled
was it flat? Was it?
This is the second time this tire's gone flat on me. It's already been plugged once.
Might need a new tire there, buddy.
Man, but, by the time I leave here today, it'll probably be flat again.
My goodness.
Well, if you need me to pump air in it for you, I got Speedway right across the street.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. WoodwardSports.com. Get in the Woodward Sports chat. Lots to get to today. Obviously, we'll get to some college football, but we will start with the Detroit Lions. I cannot, and I have no answers for you guys. That was one of the worst performances I have ever seen from one unit play football.
Ouch.
The Detroit Lions defense is simply atrocious.
PU.
Say what you want about the players on the team. Say what you want about the coach. They suck. They're not good, and I have no idea how it's going to get any better. Braylon, not Washington, the Seattle Seahawks under Geno Smith.
First of all, that wasn't Geno Smith playing on that game. That was Lamar Jackson.
I mean, might as well be.
I got home, looked up the stats. I'm like, are they playing Geno Smith or Lamar Jackson? He was killing the Detroit Lions.
Did not punt the entire game in 8 offensive possessions, 5 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and the only time they didn't score points on a drive was when they actually missed a field goal. Otherwise, it would have been 8 for 8. You can't count the kneel down at the end of the game. It's just sick, Maz.
46 years ago, the Seattle Seahawks were born, alongside the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I remember because I went and got a pennant, and I went and got a Seahawks jacket from Schlesinger's in West New York, New Jersey.
Nice.
First time that they didn't punt the ball, I watched the sidelines, and I see Pete Carroll chomping on that gum, getting on those refs. He's constantly working those refs. That's a professional coach over there, a guy that's now the oldest coach in the league. Still looks like one of the younger guys in the league. I always dug Pete Carroll. I know he's got a bad rep from USC. Always liked him. Always.
Bad rep in terms of what?
Well, people don't like him because of the whole USC. When the crap hit the fire,
Right.
He was out.
he got out of there, went to the pros. And you know what?
Smart man.
Hey, it is. I'm
Smart
just
man.
saying, other people don't like him.
Yeah.
I do. But you know what? That guy, he knows how to get the most out of his team. Now, the Seahawks, they're not world beaters anymore. This ain't the old Seahawks. This ain't the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
This is not Russell Wilson. It's not. They do have two great wide receivers. They use the tight end beautifully. They use them all.
Yeah.
Will Disley dissed them yesterday.
Good call, man.
Then you look on the other side, and I'm a Dan Campbell fan, and I want him to succeed. I want Aaron Glenn to succeed. We fell in love with these
We
guys.
like these guys.
We've been preaching. Wow, what a staff. What a staff. I know we're short on players, and when you have injuries, it makes it that much worse. But like you said, Cooper Rush is 4-0 with the Cowboys. You can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Who's playing? And who's winning? I mean, the Patriots have their baby rookie quarterback with a lead at Lambeau late in the game. And, Bailey Zappi. That's a guy that we said, hey, maybe we can get a guy like that and groom him.
Western Kentucky.
Nonetheless.
Man, there is no excuse
Just nonetheless,
for
man.
what we saw yesterday.
He made some mistakes again yesterday. You score late in the first half, and you have a kicker that's struggling. And Jamal Williams scored. I remember he put up the two fingers. He's like, let's stay in and get the two. Nope. I saw Dan Campbell take his headset off. I turned to my buddies, Tim and Mike. I'm like, he's kicking. They're going to kick. He's like, no, we're going for two. I'm like, no, his headset's off. There it is. Dominic Eberle hooked it again. Missed another one. So you go into, instead of being up, feeling good going into the locker room, he missed 2 extra points. And that's just a couple of the mistakes he made. What happened? The defense can't impossible to be this bad. Last year they were bad, but they were in games. This year you have better players on defense, and they're worse. I don't get it. Is Tracy Walker the whole defense?
No, I don't even want to hear his name today. I really don't. And
That was the excuse
in the chat. Yeah. If you're trying to tell me that your entire defensive scheme is predicated upon if Tracy Walker is in your lineup or not, Braylon Edwards, and I love Tracy Walker. That is my guy. I love that dude. But you cannot give up 48 just because Tracy Walker is out. And when he was in, this defense was atrocious. I've never seen what I saw yesterday. That was as gross an effort defensively as you will see in the National Football League. Talent-wise, I mean, you always ask the question, Braylon.
I'm ready.
What have they done defensively? Well,
stink it up.
They did do a couple of things in the offseason. They did draft number 2 overall. Aidan Hutchinson looks like trash right now. They did go to the they do have a number 3 overall pick in Jeff Okudah, who is playing fairly decent yesterday. Got torched a couple of times yesterday by DK. What about Deshaun Elliott? What about Deshaun Elliott? What about Michael Brockers? What the frick is Michael Brockers? Like, grow up. Like,
they gotta get rid of him.
What are you doing, dude?
They gotta get rid of him and save some cap space. The big thing for me watching this game, what did I say all offseason?
Kirby Joseph.
The one thing that I kept going to the well on, Ryan and Mike, talking about the Detroit Lions is the defense. They didn't go after anybody. And then all the fans said, well, you know what? I like what Brad Holmes is doing. He's saving money. He's bringing back the young guys. We're going to start over. We'll build through the draft. All right, I understand that. But you got to have some, but you got to have some, Mr. 7.5, you got to have some dudes. One thing about it is it doesn't matter what plays are being called by Aaron Glenn. It doesn't matter what coverages that he's putting this team in. It doesn't matter what fronts he's putting that D-line in. Somebody's got to make a play. In order to win games, sometimes you got to have players that just go make a play. Sometimes the defense might be this call, but you know what? I got an instinct. I know that they keep running this tight end underneath. You know what? I'm gonna go jump this play. I'm gonna go away from the play call, and I'm gonna go jump this play. And I'm gonna get an interception. You gotta have guys that make plays that can do that. They don't have anybody like that on defense to go make you a play. Remember in the Super Bowl, Josh McVay and obviously Aaron Donald's amazing. So they don't have the Aaron Donald type player. But remember Sean McVay went up to Aaron Donald and said, "Hey, I I need a play. And then Aaron Donald went and got a sack. You got to have guys that can make you a play.
I understand that, Braylon. I really do. And there aren't many Aaron Donalds out there. But you do have to play with the guys that you have. And the guys that they have right now are not this bad. Are they? And if they are, then you're looking at Brad Holmes. Right? I mean, if Brad Holmes is just completely negated the defense, if he just kind of gave up this year, if these players are that freaking bad, where they're giving up 48 to the Seattle Seahawks, who only scored 47 total in their first 3 weeks of the season, but put up 48 yesterday, there is something terribly wrong here. And I think the reason why it hurts so bad is because you have no business being 1-3 right now. What this offense is doing is unlike anything we have seen in the last 20, 25 years. I mean, this is better than anything we've ever seen under Matthew Stafford.
I think that
anything we've ever seen with Matthew Stafford. But the defense is worse than anything we ever saw with Stafford, too.
If your defense was average, you win the game. If your defense was average, you beat the Minnesota Vikings.
Did you see what Orlovsky put out today?
What he did?
He said, if the Detroit Lions just have a bad defense,
they win.
They're 3-1.
100%.
If they're just bad.
And this is the thing too, Maz and Ryan. If yesterday was the Buffalo Bills, if yesterday was the Baltimore Ravens, and you're sitting here, okay, cool, they put up 48 points. All right, I get it. They put up 48. It's the Buffalo Bills. It's the Baltimore Ravens. It was the Seattle Seahawks starting Geno Smith at Ford Field. It's unacceptable.
And again,
Geno Smith was laughing.
That was Lamar Jackson.
I never seen him more relaxed in my life. Him and Pete Carroll, even on timeouts when the Lions were driving the field, they were like, I'm sure they're saying, let's just get the ball back.
Hey, they wrote him off and he didn't write back, remember?
Yep, I do.
You know who else was laughing? Rashard Penny.
Oh my. He loves Detroit.
I mean, the zero blitz? Yeah. The zero blitz on 3rd and 5 for 50-some yards to the end zone?
Wait till you get
on the line?
When we do Braylon's breakdown, the Swiss coverage of the day, we got another one. The 3rd and 16 from the Lions 36. The only time the Lions had stopped the Seahawks was when the ref blew an inadvertent whistle. You remember that play?
Yeah.
And they had to redo the play, and then he doesn't get touched.
Yeah. It's so maddening, guys.
They said they knew the plays. The Seahawks said, Rashad Penny said, we knew when we saw their defense, what they were giving us, we knew we were gonna gouge them. We knew it.
There is something very broken about this football team. What is it? Is it the coaching staff? Is it the players? Is it a combination? Is this the same old Lions, or is there any hope whatsoever that this team could get back on track?
Here's a good question for you guys. Is Aaron Glenn getting too much blame and Dan Campbell not getting enough? Because it just seems like everybody's blaming Dan Campbell. Everybody's blaming Aaron Glenn, his defense, the play calling, how he set it up. I understand that. Dan Campbell's not getting any time. Your job as a head coach is to check your offensive, defensive coordinators as well as special teams.
Let's talk more about that. Let's do that. It's a great topic. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by. They are available at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan, though. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford also has over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Get off your heels into some wheels. Come on down today, practically giving them away at Les Stanford Chevrolet and Cadillac. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment's got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, you got to try Alta Rental. They have you covered. Call them today at 844-GO, the number 2, Alta. That's 844-GO-2-ALTA.
We got to coach better, and they got to take it on their shoulders, man. They need some accountability, and they need our captains and our vets, and they need to say, hey, enough's enough, and what are they going to do about it? Like, what are we going to do about it as well? So I know this, we can't go in panic mode because it's the worst thing you can do.
Campbell, after the game, Dan Campbell speaking to the media coming up momentarily down at Allen Park. We are wearing these shirts today. We got these brand new shirts. Let me know when he gets here.
Yeah, 100%.
Tough coming. Michigan State, not a very good football team. Are we sure Mel Tucker is the guy? We can talk about that a little bit later on. But we are talking Detroit Lions, woodwardsports.com, woodwardsports.com chat. You can also get these shirts. They are available. Also, hoodies available. woodwardsports.com. Click on the shop tab.
It's great, too, because when you're on woodwardsports.com, not only are you watching the shows and you're able to comment, but you can shop at the same time, and it doesn't interrupt the show or take you off the page. It's phenomenal. Great job by our team here.
So, Braylon, you asked the question, how much and who deserves the bulk of the criticism? Is it Dan Campbell as the head coach? Is it Aaron Glenn as the defensive coordinator? You asked the question. I'll start with an answer. I think right now it's Aaron Glenn. I think in this NFL, there are very few head coaches that don't specialize in one area of the ball. For instance, Sean McVay is the head coach, but he's an offensive head coach. That defensive coordinator is essentially the head coach of the defense. I think Andy Reid is another thing. The Minnesota coach, Bill Belichick, defense, a little bit different. He could do just about anything, perhaps, maybe. But you look at Kevin O'Connell or anybody in the new guy in Nick Sirianni,
Brandon Staley, Nick Sirianni.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can go down the line. I think here you have Dan Campbell, who is an offensive head coach, and that is why it was so easy to move on from Anthony Lynn a year ago, because you feel like you have this offensive expertise, and of course you move on from Anthony Lynn. And I think Aaron Glenn is essentially the head coach of the defense. It's almost like Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan. The 85 Bears, right? They saw almost two head coaches. Ditka is the head coach, but the head coach of the
Only
offense.
Only non-head coach get carried off the field.
Exactly. Yeah. And Buddy Ryan, the head coach of the defense. I think Aaron Glenn is in a similar role here. And I do believe he's a good football coach, but I do believe he's not getting the most out of his guys, too, because if he is, then you look at Brad Holmes.
Boy, I want to ask you something.
But before, I'm going to comment on something that you said. It's the head coach's job to get after the coordinators. If they're not up to snuff, it's his job to get them right. What happened last year? Aaron Glenn's his boy, so is Anthony Lynn. Anthony Lynn wasn't getting it done, so what did he do? He essentially fired Anthony Lynn or moved from Anthony Lynn. Anthony Lynn leaves the team. You got to do the same thing with Aaron Glenn. Now, fire him, but you got to have a real conversation and see what's going on. Because even though it's week 4, this isn't last year when you're not playing for anything. This is a team that could have beat the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a team that should have beat the Minnesota Vikings. And this is a team that had a chance to beat the Seattle Seahawks at home. You got to get it turned around. We saw in game 1. All the points they gave up to the Philadelphia Eagles, especially in that fourth quarter. You see what they did with the Washington Commanders in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. You see what happened with the Minnesota Vikings, 14 points in the fourth quarter. And then obviously you saw what happened with the Seattle Seahawks yesterday. He's got to have a conversation with him and say, dude, what's up? What's going on? That's his job as a head coach, is to get after his coordinators if they're messing up.
Dan Campbell just talking now, he's talking to the press. And Allen Park said personnel changes are coming on the defensive side of the ball. This according to Tim Twentyman of DetroitLions.com. But I want to ask Braylon this. What Rashad Penny said. We knew once they set up their defense, we knew exactly what we could do. We had to change the play to go against them, and it worked all day for us. So if a team already knows what a team is doing, the other team is doing, how the hell do you change something up like that? Now, take it. I'm a dummy.
No,
I know my football. I know my NFL history and stuff like that. But if I'm looking at the field,
we're not doing matchups.
Right. I don't know all of that kind of stuff. What could he have done differently to put his players in a better spot? I don't know.
One, you got to have better players on defense.
You got your team.
But let me start there. One, you need better players on defense. You need some guys to be able to make plays. A lot of times when coverages break down or when plays break down, I've been on the field before where I've seen a bad coverage, I've seen a bad matchup for our defense, whatever team I was on. But you got players that'll help that. You got a player that can overcome that. You got to carry Rose or Darrell Reeves or et cetera. I know these guys are really good players, but you got to have guys to make plays. With that being said, man, everybody watches film. Like everybody knows. So at the end of the day, you got to adapt. Just like they got to adapt. But it's hard to adapt when your defense just really isn't that good.
But you can't give up, though. You can't throw in the towel
I
and
agree.
say, well, let's wave the white flag. We're not playing any more football because our defensive personnel isn't very good. You have to play with the guys that you have.
You got to play to your strengths.
You got to do something. And what he's saying, Dan Campbell said personnel changes on defense are coming. Michael Brockers had 2 tackles. Tom Kennedy had a tackle yesterday on special teams.
That's my guy.
I'm just saying, the people that you are paying to play defense, you expect a little something out of them too. Charles Harris didn't do much yesterday. Chris Board, free agent line, didn't do squat yesterday. These players that you did bring in, either there were bad evaluations and they aren't good football players, or you went on the cheap and didn't do it that way, or they're just not being coached properly. It's one or the other. There is no in between. It's one or the other.
We just raved about how good the coaching staff was during Hard Knocks. We raved about that coaching staff all off season. It's not necessarily the coaching staff. I said this and I keep going back to this. I was upset that they didn't pick up any players.
You've been true to that. You've been consistent on that.
And I keep saying that, man. You look at teams that win games. They got guys. They bring guys in to win. But
they don't want to be here, Bray. They want to go to a winner. They don't. You know how hard it is to bring someone here to Detroit? You got to overpay him. And you heard Neil and Darren earlier today with Terry. They don't have the money. Next year they got the money, but this year they're busted.
But you got to be creative, man. When I was in Cleveland, we stunk. Cleveland still stinks. Well, actually not. They're okay now, but Cleveland stunk when I was there, except for 1 year, the 10-6 season. They stunk, but you got to get creative. We were able to get Willie McGinnis toward the end of his career and be that veteran leader on defense. Teach guys how to do things the right way. Teach guys technique, things like that. We got Hank Fraley, who's now the offensive line coach for the Lions. We brought him in from Philly. He was a great player for us. You got to be creative in how you bring players in. You can make it happen. Detroit's not a terrible place, okay? If you have the right spiel, you go after the right guys, you can bring them in. You got to get creative. Brad Holmes, show me. We keep talking about how good he is as an as a GM. Show me. You got to bring some guys in.
I got the player for you then.
Is it Miles Jack?
No, because he's already taken. We liked him in the beginning. I know he did.
He wasn't taken in off season.
I know. He went to another rebuild in Pittsburgh. We'll talk about that later. How about Ndamukong Suh? He's still out there. I know he wants to go to a Super Bowl with her.
Sure.
He's already won his day at Super Bowl.
Wait.
Come back to Detroit, get on that line, and teach these guys how to play. Because Aidan Hutchinson looks like the one-trick pony that everyone was talking about. He just goes wide. People are like, okay, just let him go wide, and we're going to run underneath him. And Charles Harris ain't helping either.
It's funny you say that about Aidan Hutchinson, because remember who was talking about Aidan Hutchinson before the draft?
But again,
but I know he's getting double teamed, so I'm not getting on him. But you know what I said, but that's neither here nor there. You got to be creative. You got to go in, let's say a guy like Ndamukong Suh probably doesn't want to come here. But you go to him and you have a conversation. Hey, Ndamukong, if you come back to Detroit, we want you to work with Aidan Hutchinson. We want you to work with this defensive line. We want you to be a player. But you know what we can do? We also can bring you in the front office of the Detroit Lions when you're done. We also can put a position in play for you.
Well, I'm your sister.
And I love Gunn, by the way. But, yeah, that's how you get creative with bringing players in. You know what? We're not just going to pay you. We'll pay you whatever. We'll bring you in, and then we'll give you front office position.
I want to talk more about this.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about this because I think Hutchinson is worth the discussion. You'll hear from Dan Campbell coming up next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home, up to $200,000. $1,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
OddsTrader.com is the number one site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sports books. Go to OddsTrader.com. They also have data tracking stats. They allow you to make the best bets. They give you information to help you make that money. You want to win some cheese? Go to OddsTrader.com.
I'll look at everything, with AG. We'll look at everything we need to the scheme, to our personnel, and we'll find the best fit and, whatever we feel like is going to give us the best chance and the best chance in 3 or 4 weeks too,
And that was Dan Campbell yesterday after the game. He is at the podium currently right now talking about how some defensive personnel changes will be made. Tim 21, DetroitLions.com says Jerry Jacobs and Josh Paschal expected back at practice this week. They do get to come off the PUP list after week 4. Yeah. Not sure yet about Jamison Williams. We anticipate he'll sit through the bye week, but just want to make a point of reference as well. You can pick up one of these shirts, all you Michigan fans out there.
Woodwardsports.com.
Woodwardsports.com. Woodwardsports.com shop. Just click on the shop tab over there on the website. Tuck coming, oh yeah? Let me know when he gets here. Let me know when he gets here. That's right. Tuck coming.
May not have a chance to come.
Let me know when he gets here. Head to woodwardsports.com. Click on the shop tab, and you can get one of those T-shirts. They are available for sale right now. Shout out to our friends at Big Frog for putting these together. You can also get a Let Me Know When He Gets Here hoodie. So we want to let you know about that. I do want to mention Aidan Hutchinson because, look, he is not performing like a Heisman finalist right now. Is that fair to say? But here's the problem with all this.
Yeah.
When you come to the Detroit Lions, you basically have to be an all-pro or Pro Bowl caliber player immediately day one. I didn't look at your stats, but can you imagine if your career was judged on the first 4 games of your career?
Yeah.
I mean, it is so unfair to a rookie in this league. I don't care where they're picked. Yeah. To just expect that they come in and be some all-pro player right out of the gate, because this defense in this organization has been so bad that that's what you need these guys to be. Jeff Okudah the same way. Now, he dealt with injuries, but Jeff Okudah in his 3rd season now finally starting to play like a first-round pick, let alone, I don't know if he'll ever be able to find his, top 3 level. TJ Hutchinson yesterday. Is your mic on or off? Sorry.
It's on.
Yeah. No, I cannot hear you.
So this is my thing about that, Ryan. I understand what you're saying, and you can say that it's not fair to judge a player off 4 games into his rookie season, but he went 2nd overall. He was up for the Heisman last year. I don't want to hear that stuff. Guys ball. TJ Watt rookie year, Nick Bosa rookie year, Joey Bosa rookie year, Myles Garrett rookie year, and the list goes on. This is 2022. You got to go make plays. Now, or you got to look like it. I understand they're double coveraging him because they don't have anybody else on the defensive line that's doing anything, so it's easy to slide protect towards him and make it hard. But you still have to look like a number 1 pick. What's his name? Michael Strahan said something. He hated double teams at first. He said when he was younger, he hated the double team. He said, this is too much. I can't get through it. But then he took it as a sign of respect. He said, wow, I'm getting double coverage. You know what? I got to learn how to beat this and get in there. And he started beating. He said, started beating double coverage, got confident in himself. He said, oh, man, they're going to double cover me. That means I'm pretty good. You got to find ways to beat that. They drafted you second overall. It's not about not being fair. You got to show up. I just named you 6 guys that went after him. That mean that were
all taking 1 overall, though, right?
None of them were 1 overall except Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's the only one that
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett's the only one that was 1 overall. Nick Bosa was 3 or 4. Joey was 3 as well. I want to say you got to find ways to get to the quarterback or disrupt the game. That's what we brought you here. I don't want to hear excuses. You got to make something happen.
Yeah.
We are kind of comparing. I'm watching the Jags.
And Thibodeau only had 2 tackles, though. I mean, those 3 guys are going to be connected. Those 3 guys are going to be connected forever. Yeah. Trayvon Walker, Aidan Hutchinson, and Kayvon Thibodeau. Now, Thibodeau hasn't done much. Yeah, exactly. Last week he started. This was the second game. You know, Hutchinson. And look, the most disappointing thing about this whole situation through 4 games is, guys, we're talking about Jalen Hurts, okay? Listen to these quarterbacks that they're facing. Jalen Hurts, really good, and the only unbeaten team right now.
If you mention Kirk Cousins right now, I'm going to fight you. Because you hate Kirk Cousins, so don't mention him.
Listen to what I'm saying, though.
Okay.
Carson Wentz sucks. Kirk Cousins, average to below average, in my opinion. Geno Smith hadn't started in 9 seasons. All of a sudden looks like a world beater. Bailey Zappi, Cooper Rush, Teddy Bridgewater potentially when the Miami Dolphins.
Good call.
Guys, you are throwing this season away. When you have no idea when you're ever going to have an opportunity to face quarterbacks like this, aside from Jalen Hurts, okay? Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, Bailey Zappi, Cooper Rush, Teddy Bridgewater. You are throwing this season away. You couldn't handpick better quarterbacks to play against than this group. And you're sitting there 1-3, maybe 1-4 before the bye, and heaven forbid, 1-6. After Dallas and Miami. You are throwing an entire football season away because of how bad, historically bad, this defense is, and I'm just not here for that. I'm just not here for that.
You're not ready for mock draft yet?
Well, I mean, look,
it's coming,
and that's
coming for real.
Listen. The same exact reason that I will use for you why I'm sick about where they are right now is the same exact reason why I have a teeny weeny eensy bit of hope.
Teeny weeny.
That's the only reason I have hope right now, that they can somehow hold their head above board here. Because, again, Bailey Zappi, Cooper Rush, Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah. You have got to beat these quarterbacks. You've got to.
And
Can I give you some good news?
Is there any?
We've got a good quarterback.
That is good news.
We have a professional quarterback.
Yeah.
He threw a pick 6. But you know what? Can someone tackle that guy? I mean, did he go 70, 80 yards with that ball? He made one mistake. Yeah, he overthrew a couple. Could have had a late interception. For the most part about it, he looks very comfortable and very good, especially with the crap that was handed to him yesterday. You got 60% of your offense sitting on the bench, injured, and he still throws for 400 and 4 touchdowns.
He's fifth in passing yards. He's 3rd in QBR. He's tied for 1st in touchdowns thrown. He's doing everything we asked him to do. Everything we asked him to do before the season started, we said, hey, you know what we need from you? We need 4,200 yards, and we need about 28 touchdowns. He's on pace for way more than that. He's doing everything. You know what? No DJ Chark, not a problem. No Amon-Ra St. Brown, not a problem. He's doing it. He found T.J. Hutchinson. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do. He's actually living up to more than we thought he was going to be.
No Swift? Okay, Jamal Williams will run for 100.
Hey, guess what? Next up, he's doing everything we've asked him to do. The offense, you know what? All right, No lineman here, rotate this guy in.
Hey,
No left
Skip.
guy here, come in, Dan Skipper. No Tom Kennedy. They are making it happen on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has to step up. And I understand that they don't necessarily have the playmakers or the guys. But last year they didn't have the playmakers or the guys, and they were in games. Whether it was Lamar Jackson last year, whether it was Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings last year, whether it was on the road in L.A. Against the Rams, they were in that game. Barring a sack/interception by Jalen, they were in those games last year. What happened? Where we at with it?
You basically have to play near perfect football on offense in order to even stay in the game, let alone win it. The Lions were a defensive play away from getting the ball back, having a chance to tie or take the lead against Philadelphia. They were a play away yesterday from having the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead against the Seattle Seahawks. And offensively, look, you could talk about the interception that Jared Goff threw. I understand it. It's fine. He's going to play imperfect football. But my goodness, they are giving you every opportunity to win football games. They have no team in football has currently scored more points than the Detroit Lions offense. Conversely, no team has given up more points than the Detroit Lions defense. And when you add it all up, it's a 1-3 thing. You are what your record says you are.
They're in last again.
You got
the freaking Bears are ahead of them.
You got to score more points than you give up. The big thing about it is, look, we know it's a rebuild. We know that we know that Dan Campbell said 3 years. We understand that they're on the way. We understand all that, but we're not being unreasonable because they had a chance to win the Philly game. I don't care who's on the team. They had a chance to win that game. They should have beat the Minnesota Vikings. I don't care who's on the team. And yesterday, there's no reason why you give up 48 points to the freaking Seattle Seahawks. They had a chance to win that game.
Where do the Detroit Lions go from here? I'm going to give you a stat that might blow your mind, okay? But at the same time, my goodness, they got to start making a play here and there. Otherwise, this thing's going to go south real quickly if it hasn't already. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
That's right, Ryan. 27 locations, more on the way. 2 right here on Woodward Avenue. Just one right down the block here from our beautiful Birmingham studios. And if you join the Chili Pepper Club, they're going to save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning, plus the cleanest salons in the D. You get to meet the Chili Pepper girls. You got the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Close isn't a thing anymore. We don't want to be close. We don't want to do any of that. We want to win, and it's hard. It really is. It's hard to come out of a game like this and not win, and that's just what we're going to go back to work. We're going to grind and win. That's really what we need to do.
And that was TJ Hutchinson. By the way, I do believe yesterday was a referendum game on Jared Goff and TJ Hutchinson. Without Swift, Amon-Ra, and DJ Chark, they needed this guy to step up, and he did.
You know what they did? They both made money.
Side note,
They both made money. Get ready. They're gonna get new contracts.
Oh, 100%. Side note, shout out to Stick. Stick called his shot in group chat yesterday. He said Hawks going to have 102 touchdowns, and he had 179 and 2 touchdowns. Shout out to Stick.
There you go. WoodwardSports.com, Woodward Sports Chat. Thanks along everybody who is involved in that chat right now. Don't forget to go to the WoodwardSports.com shop as well. You can get these T-shirts. Give them to your Michigan friends, or if you just want to troll your Michigan State buddies, let me know when he gets here. Tuck coming.
Are we doing too much by wearing these shirts, or is this perfectly cool?
Hell no, I love it. I love it.
All the stuff they gave you last year, yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. I'm having a ball with this Michigan State
Where
season.
are they all the way?
They're still coming.
I don't see them.
They're leaving. They're so far away.
It's tough, man.
So, T.J. Hutchinson talking about close isn't a thing. Everybody is close.
Yeah.
Everybody in the National Football League is close. You have to win these games. Bottom line, yesterday, there were 14 games in the National Football League. 13 of them were a one-score game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The only game that was not was the Chiefs and the Bucks. Think about that, how close this league is, guys. Everybody is right there. What separates the good teams and the bad teams are the teams that make the plays and the teams that don't make the plays. And every game, Braylon, you played in this league for a long time.
A little bit.
There's about 5 or 6 plays in every game that are going to determine who wins and who loses. Otherwise, look, again, 13 of 14 games yesterday went down to the wire and were one-score games at some point in the fourth quarter. In fact, of the 64 games played so far, of 63 games played so far, with one more to go tonight, 49 of the 63 games have been within one score in the fourth quarter. Guys, if
the NFL did it.
Yeah.
They did it. They got what they want.
We went off on the Detroit Lions. We just went on a tangent talking about they have to close these games out. They've been in some games that they should have won. They should have beat Minnesota. They had opportunities to win yesterday. You can say they should have beat Philly. I disagree, but they had a chance to. We can say that.
Yes.
But with that being said, guys that are winning these close games or guys that are going out and do it, you name me a team, and I'll tell you, you say they got to make plays. They need playmakers to make plays. Whether it's
okay, Chicago Bears. They're 3-1. They got
2-2.
nobody.
2-2.
2-2.
2-2. They lost yesterday to the Giants.
Yeah.
Giants are 3-1.
Yeah.
Who's their playmakers?
Saquon Barkley.
That's
I'd
it.
give you DeAndre Swift.
You mean on defense?
No, I mean whoever. I mean,
they played a butt schedule.
I'll take DeAndre Swift over Saquon Barkley.
I mean, you give me Cleveland. I watched Denzel Ward get interception yesterday. Newsome. I see Myles Garrett. Like, you name teams as guys making plays in that defense. Obviously, offense, we're good. So we don't need to talk about the offensive side. Defense, and we have Aidan. He'll figure it out. Hopefully, that's what we're betting on. Number 2, you gotta have guys that can make plays. You gotta have guys that can read the coverage and know what a receiver is about to run and jump the route. You gotta have linebackers that can be instinctive and punch the ball out. You gotta have guys punch the ball out so you get fumbles. Guys that can cover wide receivers, get interceptions, make plays. You gotta have playmakers if you want to win games. These games that they've lost, they don't have the playmakers on defense to close games out.
It's disgusting what you're seeing from the Detroit Lions. Again, it's just so bad because everything's right there for them. I mean, they're 3 home games down already, and they're 1-3.
Here's the problem yesterday. You knew right away it was trouble. They lose the coin flip or they defer. The Seahawks go right down the field like a hot knife through butter. That's the first time so far in the 4 games they played that they let the team get the lead. They've had the lead in all 3 games. All 3 games they played, they've had the lead. And the defense just looked lost from the get-go.
It's a copycat league. Like, you don't think that Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks weren't watching that first game of the season and watched that when they over-pursue, when they over-rush, they start to, that's when Jalen Hurts took off, gained a lot of yards and grounds with the over-pursuit. Geno Smith hasn't had a rushing yard since West Virginia. Buddy watched that film against Jalen Hurts and he knows, you know what, they over-pursue. All I got to do is wait for it and then step in.
It's a sucker play.
He had 59 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Geno Smith.
let me ask you this. Remember, and again, I keep going back to stuff.
Your best player on defense right now is a 6th-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Without question.
Just think about that.
Fact.
Your best player is a 6th-round rookie draft pick right now.
I mean, potentially in the conversation for Rookie of the Year through the first quarter of the season. No?
Yeah, he's up there.
Defensive
he's
Rookie
up
of the
there.
Year. Let me ask you guys this. Because I was laughed off the stage.
Again?
Well, no, but I was laughed off the stage beginning of the season, before the season started, when I said,
10-0.
if you win 6 games or fewer, Dan Campbell, I mean, you're really talking about a replacement for Dan Campbell. You guys laughed at me and said no way.
Yes, you're right.
And what I'm saying to you is, how many more games can you lose against Geno Smith, Bailey Zappi, Cooper Rush, Teddy Bridgewater? Are you willing to put up with?
If Dan Campbell, if Dan Campbell wins 4, I say 5 or less, might be a problem. I say if he wins 5 or less, might be a conversation at the end of the year.
I don't want to get crazy here and just make stuff up, but we're not talking about Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about Teddy Bridgewater, Cooper Rush, Bailey Zappi, Geno Smith. Your 4 quarterbacks that's in front of you.
But the other thing about that,
if you can't beat these guys.
Yeah. The other thing about that, Ryan Ermanni, is going into this season. What was the last thing, the send-off on Hard Knocks? The last thing was the Detroit Lions will what? Put the league on notice. The Detroit Lions can and will. The Detroit Lions, I forgot what Calvin Shepard said, but that was what they had going into the season. The whole stick was not SOL, not the same old Lions. I understand injuries happen. Guess what? They happen for every other team in the NFL as well. So far, through 4 games, show me how they're not the same old Lions. Show me how they're not the same old Lions. Losing games on the road. Losing games at the end. My stepdad has the best saying that you will ever see, and I will say it again. The Detroit Lions, another exciting loss.
Colin Cowherd tweeted this yesterday. Did you guys see it in the chat? He said something about the fact of the Detroit Lions are the most exciting watch in football.
That's it.
Win or lose.
That's
or
real.
tie.
That is real.
It just is. But again, look, I'm not going to freak out and say fire Dan Campbell or even fire Aaron Glenn. What I am saying is, how many more losses to teams and quarterbacks like this are you willing to accept?
Well, when they say personnel changes coming on defense, what does that mean? Does that mean like these players that you just said, Josh Paschal? And,
Jerry Jacobs, Josh Paschal.
Are they ready to come back and give us something?
This per Tim Twentyman.
Like.
Jerry Jacobs, Josh Paschal expected back in practice this week. Also, moving Aidan Hutchinson around more, doing some different things with him could also be in the change of plans for the defense. That is per Dan Campbell through Tim Twentyman, DetroitLions.com.
You got to find, and see, this is where Dan Campbell can help the situation. This is where Aaron Glenn can do what he's supposed to do. He says he wanted to be the best defensive coordinator that the Detroit Lions franchise has ever seen. You gotta move Aidan around. When I was at Michigan, and even when I was in the league, when you start having teams double coverage you, when you're just out there at the wide receiver position, you're playing X, they're double coveraging you. That's not an excuse for you not to get off. You know what good coaches do? You know what sharp coordinators do? You know what? We got to move Braylon into the slot. We got to move him across the formation. We got to have him to trips this way. We got to bring him out of the backfield. You got to do things to get your playmakers the ball. They got to create stunts with Aidan Hutchinson. They got to move him inside a little bit. He's a guy that can play on every down. So you got to move him inside, move him outside, do different stunts. You got to help him have success. It's not all on Aidan because he was number 2. This is where Aaron Glenn takes that next step. Find ways to get Aidan Hutchinson to the quarterback.
Yesterday was a must-win. We called it. And we said Washington was a must-win. They came through for Washington. They piddled away Minnesota. And this game, they never had the ball with a chance to take a lead on this team, which was, it's unbelievable. And you got a kicker that can't kick. You got a guy on the practice squad that comes in and misses 2 extra points. God, we almost got that freaking, what do you call it?
The onside kick. Can I just say
that's why they brought this guy in.
Sounds like that so well to me.
Oh,
can I just say that after the Lions touchdown that made it 31-23, I tweeted this out. They should go out for the onside kick on this one.
Yeah.
You should just go.
What's the use?
And everything is within context, right? You have to play within the context. That's why I thought they should go for it on 4th and 4 against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Context. Your defense can't stop anybody. Is that something you would normally do in a game? No. But because your defense can't stop anybody, you at least have to give your offense a chance to get the ball back.
Well, teams are looking for it now because Dan does it so often. And plus the percentage has gone down.
It's
unbelievable.
10%. It's
less.
It's 10%, maybe 8 to 10%. But again, that 8 to 10% is better than 0%. At least, and everybody knew the Lions were doing the onside kick yesterday, and they still had that ball on the ground.
Yeah, they still had an opportunity to pick it up.
Had an opportunity to get it. Guys, what say you? If you want to get in, we'd love to hear from you. We'll try to take some calls today. 313-552-6322. 313-552-6322. If you want to get in, come on in. We'll take some phone calls. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Where do the Lions go from here? How do you feel about the next quarter of the season? And again, they get a break in the schedule. Yeah. It does not appear that Mac Jones is going to play this week, and even if he did, what's he going to look like?
Still on the road, though.
Absolutely. Bill Belichick.
By the way, I think we're still paying Jelani Tavai, and he made a few tackles yesterday.
Look at that.
For New England.
All right. WoodwardSports.com, WoodwardSports.com, Woodward Sports Chat. If you want to pick up one of these shirts, let me know when he gets here. Tuck coming, baby. Keep chopping. Michigan State, not very good football team right now. Is Tuck coming?
He's such a troll.
Is he any good? We know he's a good coach, don't we?
Do we?
Do we know that?
It's a good question. Do we?
Buy a T-shirt. WoodwardSports.com. Click on the shop. We'll talk Lions. We'll hear from you. We'll get to some of the chat as well. Woodward Sports Chat. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, and now, for a limited time, they have put their 3 flavors, that is the cranberry, the classic sugar, the sugar-free, and the classic, into a 6-pack limited edition. Go to CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. They want to re-energize the city. They're helping us re-energize the city here at WoodwardSports.com. Let them energize you as well.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit BigFrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Same thing I told the team. The worst thing we can do is start pointing fingers at each other. And you did this, we didn't do this. We put up we can't do that, man. We can't let anybody pull us apart. And because as dismal as it is right now, we're not as far away as it feels. But until we do something about it and quit talking about it, doesn't matter. You know, we can rob ourselves and we can say we're going to be better, but until we actually do it and make a commitment. And you know, we got to coach better, and they got to take it on their shoulders, man. They need some accountability, and they need our captains and our vets, and they need to say, hey, enough's enough, you know. And what are they going to do about it? Like, what are we going to do about it as well? So, I mean, we're all in this same boat together, and we got to clean it up. But I know this: we can't go in panic mode because it's the worst thing you can do.
The thing that's interesting, as you see Dan Campbell at the podium right there, the thing that's so crazy, Maz and Ryan, is the fact that they are close, but they also are so far away at the same time. Like when you look at the
They're a mirage.
when you look at the offensive side of that's a good call right there. When you look at the offensive side of the ball, DeAndre Swift early on in the year, Amon-Ra St. Brown taking that giant step in year 2. TJ Hutchinson finally showing up. The offensive line has been the wheelhouse. Jared Goff has given us everything we wanted and more. But then on the other side of the ball, geez Louise, stop somebody.
You know what? It's like they're so close, but they're so far away. But
So far.
everybody is so close. Like, what makes the Lions so close different from anybody else's so close? 13 of the 14 games yesterday were within one score in the fourth quarter.
They're the Lions. That's why.
313-552-6322. Going to get to the phones in just 1 second, Maz. But you were watching the game yesterday with some buddies.
I met my buddies over at B-Dubs. I like watching the games there. It's like all the games are on, but you're locked in
What's
on the
your
Lions
favorite wings at B-Dubs? What's your favorite one?
I'm a boneless Asian zing.
Asian zing?
I'm Asian zing.
Okay.
Asian zing
They
is
don't
my
pay
flavor.
us.
I'm a teriyaki
with,
guy.
with
They don't
blue
pay us for
cheese,
the
of
shout
course.
out.
Need blue cheese. So anyway, gotta say, I'm there, and I go often, and a lot of times the Lions lose, and it's the same thing. The place is buzzing. Everyone is clapping and screaming. Yeah. I mean, it's like you're with your family.
Yeah.
Even if you go by yourself, there's people that go by themselves.
Sure.
I'm one of them. I'll just go by my.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're with the table. You're with another table, and you're pumped. And then at the end, you're like this. Look, you're like this to the
Everybody
waitress.
walks out.
You're like this. And then
You got to pay the tab.
Okay, you walk out. Honestly, it looks like The Walking Dead. You walk out like a freaking mummy,
Oh, my God.
like a ghost.
But you guys do it to yourself.
You got nothing
man, we're
left
all
in you.
sick.
You
But-
can't even say anything.
But
you
you-
got nothing left.
But you do it to yourself. You guys got to get like me. Because what did I tell
I
you?
wanna be like you, Bray.
Going into the bye, what did I tell you their record was going to be?
1
I
and
told
4.
you. 1 and 4.
I told you.
I told you.
Let's get to the WoodwardSports.com call-in line now. Let's bring in Eric. Eric, you are on WoodwardSports.com. How you doing, E? Hello, Eric.
Paging
Did
Eric.
I hit that?
Did you hear
Eric,
that?
are you there?
Eric, hello.
Brian, what are you over
This
there
could
doing?
be my computer acting up. There you go. Eric? No.
No.
Hey, how y'all doing?
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
How you doing, Eric?
I'm good. I love to see y'all. Go Blue.
Go blue, baby.
Go blue. Go blue.
Hey, man, it's funny to be. At first I was heated, but now I'm starting to get a lot of clarity because I predicted the Lions were going to win 5, maybe 6 games this year. But seeing the offensive, I kind of got real in, like, yeah, they're going to do something. But now I sit back and I'm like, hold on. We blame them at home. We blame them. Aaron Glenn, we blame them. Everybody on the side, what about Brad Holmes? So that's the injured player. What about him not putting linebackers, other linebackers around the defense? We need some playmakers. We need some balls. It's okay to say, oh, I love a guy's character, or I love this guy, or they just got grit, but can they make plays? Heck, I got grit, but don't mean I can come out there and make plays. Man, it's like all the linebackers. Like, it's bad when you see a rookie outperforming vet.
Yeah.
Malcolm Rodriguez is the only person in the gap, and then people get on him when he was out of his gap. Where the whole linebackers flew out of their gap. He's a rookie.
Eric, there's no doubt about it, and thanks for calling in. There is no doubt about it. I mean, Brad Holmes deserves some big time heat, I would think, because there's nobody that he brought over this year, not one acquisition defensively that you could point to outside of this mirage, which is the 6th-round Malcolm Rodriguez right now, and point to and say anything other than the fact that there's no help on defense. There's no help.
I would go in the middle. I would go in the middle of giving him blame. I would give him a little, but at the same time, you got to understand they don't have any money. And we were just talking about this with Neil Rude. They don't have any money. $3 million is what they have right now. They're still, Maz, you hit the nail on the head. They're still paying people that don't even play here right now. And you got Brockers on the bench doing absolutely nothing. Need to move on from him. Like,
what happened to him? How do you leave the Rams, a Super Bowl team? You come. Is this mic on, by the way?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I'm having a hard time hearing myself.
I can hear you.
Nonetheless, what happens? How does he drop off so much? Is it just because you come here, all of a sudden you're done? What is it?
Well, at the end of the day, if somebody was that integral in terms of an internal piece or an integral piece to help you, then they would have kept him. But they didn't. They let him leave. So you got to ask yourself, was he even that good to begin with? The big thing I think about is this, and I pause, caution to the wind. We don't know what type of player Josh Pascal is going to be. If Josh Pascal comes in here and he lights it up, now Brad Holmes looks a little smarter. Yeah. He always looks smarter with Malcolm Rodriguez. Jameson Williams is coming off the bench in about 2 to 3 weeks. That's going to be a big move. So he's I can't pass judgment yet because we got to see what his guys do. But it's close.
But again,
that defense, free agents moves.
Yeah, man.
No moves in free agency.
Let's see if I can get this bad boy to work now. It is, there he is. Jones, you're on Detroit, WoodwardSports.com. How you doing, Jones, you there?
How you guys?
Good, man. Thanks for the call.
Can someone raise his volume up, maybe?
Big fan. I just had a really simple question for you three, because it seems to me we put a lot of stake in Jameson Williams as our first-round pick, and it seems as far as our offense going so far, our second pick, we didn't need him. And what we needed was a safety. I felt we've needed that the last 2 years. It hasn't been addressed, and our defense is getting torched as our offense is still performing. How do you feel about that selection and the lack of defensive attention being paid?
It's a great question, Jones, and thanks so much for the call. Thanks for listening to WoodwardSports.com. We appreciate it, buddy. Bray?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks okay. Yeah, Josh Reynolds had a touchdown. He had a big catch. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He played hurt too.
Exactly. Amon-Ra St. Brown was balling early on in the year, and he's overachieving for the draft pick, in which he was. I get all that. The teams that win in the NFL today have dynamic wide receivers. I understand Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I appreciate everything he's done so far. DJ Chark, the verdict's still out. But Jameson Williams, what he did at Alabama, Stephon Diggs, killing for the Buffalo Bills. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Justin Jefferson, and the list, Cooper Kupp, the list goes on. You got to have yourself one of those players, and guess what? They did that in Jameson Williams. I know he tore his ACL, and everybody's nervous. I tore my ACL. I was back in 9 months, much like he will be. You gotta have yourself a Jameson Williams, because what he can account for, the matchup, the nightmares, the scare tactics that he do, getting other guys open because teams are scared of him. You gotta have a guy like that, and I don't mind to pick it up. I think it was what got me excited.
If you knew then what you know now about the Lions' offense, maybe you consider going a different route. But even then, I'm not sure you do, because you still want the best possible players you can have. Yeah. And there is no guarantee, if it wasn't for Jameson Williams, that the Lions would trade up to 12 anyway, to get some defensive player there. Right. I don't know if they even trade up at that point.
You can say what you want to about this offense, and you can be excited as you want to in terms of scoring 38 points a game, putting touchdowns on the board. Jared Goff is finding guys to throw touchdowns to each week. I get all that. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a very good wideout, but he is a number 2. I don't care what you say. DJ Chark, I don't know what the hell he's going to be. Josh Reynolds, Josh is just a serviceable guy right now. None of them have the type of potential impact that a Jameson Williams has. You want to be great, you got to have players like that. That's why wide receivers are getting the bag nowadays. You see what Tyreek Hill signed for. You see what Devontae Adams signed for. When you got players like that, you are always one play away from making a big play and turning the tide in the game.
By the way, the Packers are coming.
Oh, screw that.
They are.
Let me tell you something about the Packers.
No, they are.
I'll tell it to you next. But let me tell you something about the Packers. We'll go around the NFL, some more Lions news, and your phone calls. 313-552-6322. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. WoodwardSports.com. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house tells the bad guys one thing. Whether you are at home or on the road, their 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what is important to you stays safe. Call this number right now, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader Bet Tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Hey, everybody, for a limited time only, you can get the all-new burgers and fries at Big Boy. It's not the Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. And how about those new burgers? The chili cheeseburger, and guess what else is new? It's the bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Get some chili cheese fries, nacho fries, baked potato fries, and more. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
I want to get back to the phones real quick as we begin hour number 2. Bring in Adam, who waited through the break. Adam, how are you? WoodwardSports.com.
What's up, Adam?
What's going on, guys? Huge fan. So thank you for having me on, first and foremost.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Secondly, Dan Campbell's starting to really make me nervous, guys. The inconsistent play calls, like last couple of weeks, that was rough. The timeout is where he kind of lost me last week, toward the end of the fourth quarter. That's when I started really questioning Dan Campbell. And that bootleg's been there since game one. How more teams haven't done it to us, I don't know how. But another thing I wanted to bring up is, in Hard Knocks, Dan Campbell talked about hitting early, hitting often, and he wanted to condition the guys. I was wondering, Braylon, do you think that plays into some of the injuries we have? Now, I know that doesn't play into all the injuries, but the injury bug has kind of hit us hard early this season. So I just wonder what you might think about that.
Hey, Adam, thanks a lot for the call, my friend. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
No, 100%. I appreciate you calling, Adam. No, I don't think it plays into the injuries. You got to hit in training camp so that you can be ready, so that your body can be ready for this 18-week season. You got to hit, but you get protected as well. I just think they're just getting hit by the bug. I mean, if you look around the NFL, a ton of teams have a ton of injuries. It's not just the Detroit Lions. You got some guys that didn't hit in training camp. They have a ton of injuries. You got guys like the Detroit Lions that did hit, and they have injuries as well. I just think at this level, guys are much faster, guys are much stronger. The impacts now, the guys get injured.
And Maz, one of the things that Adam brought up too is he's starting to get a little leery here of Dan Campbell. And again, I think every Lions fan has that right to start questioning the head coach and the coaching staff, because as we mentioned, the margin for error in the NFL is this thin. Right. That is the difference right there between winning and losing games. So a play call here, or 5 or 6 plays per game is going to determine whether or not you win that game or not. And if you are the team that's making a majority of the plays, you're winning. And if you're not, you're losing. And that coach, whether it's a coordinator or a head coach, they've got to put you in the best possible spot to win the game. And right now, Dan Campbell is on the losing end of this.
One of the big things I'm interested in, I want to see what are these personnel changes coming into next week, coming into after the bye week. What are these personnel changes? Because if you remember, Aaron Glenn was a strong point of the team last year. His defense, the defense kept the Lions in games. They played well against good teams, good quarterbacks. They played well against good offenses. They were strong. They tenacity. I mean, don't get me wrong. They got beat up too a lot. But it just looks different. You get excited. He talks about being the best defensive coordinator in Lions history, wanting to be that. You go through Hard Knocks, you're watching, you're excited, and then all of a sudden 4 games in a row and the defense is nowhere to be found. And it looks like they've taken steps backward from last year. So I want to see what are these personnel changes, because Aaron Glenn, you got to show me something.
Hey, do me a favor, man. First of all, I want to defend Dan Campbell, but I want you to go back while I'm talking here, Ryan. Go back to last year and tell me, did they ever give up this many points, or how did they look the first 5 weeks or so? Didn't they hold Baltimore to 19 points, a couple of teams to 19 points?
They gave up 44 the first game of the season.
Okay, after that then.
All right, here's your answer, Matt.
Let's hear it.
41 against San Francisco.
Go ahead.
35 against Green Bay. 19 against Baltimore. 24 against Chicago. 19 against Minnesota. 19 against Minnesota. Then 34, 28, and 44.
Okay.
That's Cincinnati, L.A., and Philadelphia.
All right, so they're still in that ballpark. They did have a couple of decent defensive games, one against Minnesota, one against Baltimore.
Seattle put up 51 against them last year.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, in December last year.
At Seattle, 51-29.
I forgot about
that.
January
January 2nd.
All right, so let's, okay.
How much did Denver put up?
Nothing's changed.
Denver put some points up.
Denver put up 38.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed then, really. You know what? We think it's worse, but it really is. It's the same, and our offense is twice as good as last year. Can we say that?
It's very disappointing.
It might be 4 times better than it was last year. It's a really good offense. I mean, it's stats-wise, it's number one in the NFL. But that defense, man, that defense is struggling. And like you said, maybe we're overlooking it. Maybe everybody got excited. Yeah. Everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid, and you got to watch Hard Knocks and it changed your opinion. Detroit Lions, I go back to what I said in the offseason. They didn't pick anybody up in free agency on the defensive side, and I had a problem with it.
And they didn't cut anybody either.
But dude, you have been so consistent about that. Yeah. From day one, you have said that. My only problem is, what the hell are you going to do about it now, other than sit there and pray? Let me ask you guys this, and this is what I'll end on Lions talk before we get to the NFL, and then maybe dip our toes into a little bit of college football today.
Okay.
We'll do this every week. What is your win total now? I had fun with 10. Yeah. I still thought 9 or 10 last week.
How many we got left? 13?
There's 13 games.
13 games. Okay.
Like
I'm ready to dip my toe in. I got one win.
But right now, just give it to me.
I got one win with 13 remaining.
Yeah.
I think they can win 6 more games.
So 7, you're still sitting at 7.
I'm still sitting at 7.
Okay, Braylon.
Now, you almost sold me on the 9+.
Yeah.
But now I got to back off of that because of these last 2 losses.
The more information you have, the better informed your opinion can be.
I'm sticking with 7.
Or you can be like the guy that says, until the Detroit Lions show me something, I'm going to think they're the same team. That's why every week we do our picks, I bet against the Detroit Lions because they have to show me something. They got to show me that they can go on the road and beat Minnesota. They got to show me that they can't blow a lead at the end of the game like they did against Minnesota.
So what's your total? What's your win total
I
now?
said 6 before the season started, and I'm going down 1. I say 5.
I had this up.
I'm at 5. I'm at 5.
I don't see another win on the schedule.
Oh, come on. All right,
outside of Chicago.
Come on. Don't go that way. Come on.
From 10 to 1.
I think you are looking at 5 now.
Yep. Oh, God.
I think Braylon's got. I think you're looking at 5 because look, we talked about it. If you're gonna get to 6 or 7, you have got to beat non-playoff teams at home.
We're gonna outscore them.
Does anybody think that Seattle is going to make the playoffs in the NFC?
Nope.
Who knows?
But just I see what Ryan's saying. Like, who knows? You're right, but at the same time, no. Nobody's thinking Seattle's going to make the playoffs.
If you're gonna get to even, forget about me. Forget about my dumbass 9-10. Okay. Right. If you're going to get to 6 or 7, you have to beat non-playoff teams at home. That's the only way you're getting to 6 or 7. You're already 1 down with Seattle. That comes down to 5. Maybe 5.
It's just tough when you're playing
4 or 5.
They're going to split with their conference. That's 3 with their division. That's 3 wins right there.
I need to see them win a game against a team.
Yeah.
They almost blew the Washington game. Guys, we'll go around the NFL. I got something to say about Green Bay, too. Luckiest team in the NFL right now. They are the luckiest team in the NFL right now. But
you are eating a lot of crow today.
From Gypsy Vodka.
The summer is over, but guess what? The Mulligan is still here. Introducing the Mulligan by Gypsy Vodka. 8% alcohol seltzer, and it is 8%. Be careful. It's not 5 like some of these other ones. Flavors are smooth as ever. Iced tea, lemonade, mango being my favorite. Also, it's in state. Support Michigan Distillers. Adam and Mike, Michigan State guys, they got it right with this one, man. Whether you're on the golf course, whether you're at the house, whether you're drowning your sorrows with the miserable Detroit Lions, be safe, drink responsibly. The Mulligan.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz for Custom Health Centers. Get your customized approach to weight loss. That's right. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health. I know that. Mentally, emotional, spiritually, and physically. CHC is blessed to have had over 20,000 success stories. It's been our honor to help many professional athletes lose weight and improve their health. People like Detroit Lion Eddie Murray and Detroit Piston Rick Mahorn, both looking great these days. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health at 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-8446. Count me in, Doc.
A couple of guys that could
You just named two amazing people. I probably golf with Eddie at outings. I probably see him about 7 times in the golf season outing. And then Rick Mahorn, that's Big Unk right there.
Oh,
two great people.
Love that guy.
Two great people.
He loved breaking my chops.
Who did?
Rick Mahorn.
Who
loves
who doesn't?
breaking it. I know.
Love Rick Mahorn. Yeah. One of the good guys out there.
To this day, I'm still upset and I feel bad what happened to him. When's the NBA Finals?
Unprotected.
And gets traded.
Stinking Timberwolves.
They left him unprotected.
Yeah, exactly.
He went the expansion draft.
And so remember, he didn't get a chance to go to the parade.
Right. Yep.
He went out that night. That was
terrible, man. Minnesota Timberwolves, and then ultimately shipped off to the Sixers. Where he had a really good run.
Him and Jeff Rule, the Bruise brothers.
Yeah, that was great. Tom Mazawey, let's go around the NFL, shall we?
Man, I'll tell you, the day started off awesome. I was here with Adam and Jeff. We were doing the Lions pregame. And, we had Stick downtown and the heavyweights. We had a great time. But you got to watch the game from London. The Vikings and Saints, phenomenal game, goes down to the wire. Justin Jefferson finally scores on a little end around.
Yep.
He dropped the touchdown earlier today, so he finally broke out of his slump. But I'll tell you, man, Will Lutz hits a 60-yard field goal to tie it, and then hits a 61-yard field goal to try to tie it and go to overtime. Double doink off the goalpost and crossbar, and they lose 28-25. Vikings escape again.
Yeah, it was a good game. It's funny. I started watching. Speaking of that, so I was in a hotel getting ready to take a shower and get ready to head to the airport in Iowa. And they sang the national anthem, and they said, "God Save the King." I was like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, they got to find ways to get Justin Jefferson going. You saw the opening game of the year. He had 179, and he's been quiet ever since.
Yeah.
So definitely Kevin O'Connell's trying to get him going, because a guy like that, he's a playmaker. Got to get him the ball often and early.
All right, how about those Falcons that hang on and beat the Browns 23-20? Cowboys, 25-10 winners over Washington. Seahawks,
2-2, baby.
CeeDee Lamb, man, and Cooper Rush.
CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Rush. Finally, Cooper Rush figured out that CeeDee Lamb was on his team, because he hadn't been throwing to CeeDee Lamb his first 3 games, but you talk about having playmakers on that defensive side of the ball. Trevor Lawrence, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs. Defense has kept them in it. And Cooper Rush, all he's doing, he's not doing much. He's just taking what the defense gives him, and they're running the ball really well.
4-0 in that one. Titans beat the Colts in Indy. And how about the Bears? 4 field goals. That's all they can muster. There's 2 wins.
Yeah. They got
Giants
2.
beat them 20-12. Saquon 150 plus.
We're positive they're going to beat the Bears.
We got to get the Bears.
They can beat the Giants.
Hey, Jaguars are up 14-0 on the Eagles. Doug Peterson comes in, wants to beat his old team. Eagles say, 29-21. They win it. How about the Jets in Pittsburgh? They win it 24-20. Kenny Pickett comes in for Mitch Trubisky finally.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett had, 87 interceptions in that game?
He did, but he ran for 2 touchdowns.
He did, first time in NFL history, debut quarterback.
Pittsburgh's going south, man.
Yep. Deontay Johnson said, we're in a rebuild.
Pittsburgh
he's on my fantasy team.
Pittsburgh is no different than the Detroit Red Wings. When you're so good for so long, and you go year after year after year after year without having that high creme de la creme draft pick, that adds up. That you can only do that so long before you get really great players. Because you get being a first round pick is one thing, but you got that top 10 is a sweet spot.
No doubt.
The one thing I will say is, somewhat of a rebuild, but you got to push back a little bit because one thing Pittsburgh is always going to have, and it's always going to keep them in game, seasons, and playoff hunt, is what? Defense. They're missing TJ Watt, the reigning defending player of the year. That defense always keeps them in it. They're missing TJ Watt. Hurts like now you got a quarterback. Or they don't have a quarterback. They can get the ball down the field. But their defense is always good to great.
Game of the day, Bills and Ravens. Ravens up 20.
Is John Harbaugh just an idiot?
20-3 they're up. Here comes the Buffalo Bills with 20 straight to beat them. 23-20. Ravens had first and goal inside the 5. And they go for it on 4th and what? I think it was 4th and 6. And they roll out Lamar Jackson. Instead of kicking a field goal to take the lead, they go for it, intercepted.
I think it was at the 2. I think it was 4th and goal from the 2.
He rolls out and he couldn't find anybody. And then Buffalo goes down to win the game. I got John Harbaugh sound. So you guys talk about it. Talk about what you think, and then I'll have Fletch play it.
I just think that late in the game, you got to take the lead. That late in the game, you got to take the lead.
I think what you're starting to see from the Baltimore Ravens is something that's not new. If you pay attention to that defense has been a weak link for them. This year, you see what happened with the Miami game. Now insert the Buffalo Bills. Last year, that defense stunk, even though players were injured. The year before that, their secondary and their D-line wasn't any good, didn't get to the quarterback. The defense of the Baltimore Ravens has been letting Lamar Jackson as well as John Harbaugh for about the last 3-4 years.
Well, that's 2 games now that they've given up 17-plus point leads to lose. Here's John Harbaugh. Why'd you do it, John?
Well, I felt like it gave us the best chance to win the game because 7, the worst that happens is if they go down the field and score, and I think we'll get them stopped. But if they go down the field and score a touchdown, the worst thing that can happen is that you're in overtime. But you kick a field goal there, now it's not a 3-down game anymore, it's a 4-down game. And you're putting them out there, you're putting your defense at a disadvantage because they've got 4 downs to convert all the way down the field. And a chance to, again, score 7, and then you lose the game on a touchdown. So, and then the worst thing, the other thing, you think you're going to get the ball at the 2-yard line. So I'm very confident in our defense's ability to stop them down there with the ball on the 2-yard line. So we got them backed up. If we don't get it, didn't turn out that way, unfortunately, and we lost the game. So hindsight, you could take the points. But if you look at it analytically, I understand why we did it.
He didn't trust his defense. You said it.
100%. They have not been good for about the past 4 years. And every year they go on decline. Everybody was excited to get Marlon Humphrey back this year. Everybody was excited to get Marcus Peters back this year. Everybody was excited to add Jason Pierre-Paul. Guess what? I ain't seen him.
Well, if you think about
and
it,
I use 8 for a fact.
If you think about it, too, Lamar Jackson really screwed him there, too, because it's 4th and goal to 2.
Don't throw that pick.
Exactly. Yeah. If you stop them,
it's muddy.
Buffalo gets it at the 2. Yeah. If you throw the pick in the end zone, now they get it at the 20. That's a much different deal when you're getting the ball at the 2-yard line as opposed to the 20.
Yeah, but he almost completed that ball.
Well, instead he got it picked.
Very true. But Lamar Jackson has been freaking outstanding.
Without question.
I need the defense to step up. When you got guys like that consistently make pay, hey, look, man, got to step up on defense. Like, y'all got to make a play for Lamar Jackson. If I'm a defensive player for the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, my quarterback, you know what? Hey, man, all that stuff you've done this year, it's okay, interception. We'll get this stop for you. Got to make a play.
No doubt about it. I lost my computer, went out on me. So here we go. Chargers beat the Texans 34-24. Austin Eckler is now Austin Eckler. 3 touchdowns. Are you okay with them now?
About damn time. 34 points he gave me. I still lost, but I'm excited to see him ball because last year he had 20 touchdowns. He's a guy that's a dual threat. He catches the ball out of the backfield, and he's a hell of a runner.
Screw all these games. Get to the Packers.
All right. Cardinals beat the Panthers 26-16.
Who cares?
Packers in overtime. beat the Patriots 27-24. Romeo Doubs with a touchdown, and then he caught one, but it was the Calvin Johnson rule that would have won the game in regulation. They called it incomplete.
Not a catch.
It was a catch.
It's
always been a catch. It's always been a catch.
That was not a catch.
I don't give a damn. I hate that rule.
That was not a catch.
Hey, man, you ready?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Incomplete.
That was not a catch. Let me say this about the Green Bay Packers. I said 7-win football team before the season started. I have never seen a team get so lucky in back-to-back weeks. Green Bay plays Tampa Bay when they don't have Mike Evans or Julio Jones. And then
I thought I was going to get a phone call. I was ready.
Right?
I was ready.
And then they play New England when they don't have Mac Jones.
Or Brian Hoyer.
I mean, back-to-back weeks, they got so friggin' lucky. They should be 1-3.
That's how you win, buddy. That's how you win.
That sucks.
You know what Dan Orlovsky said today? He
What?
trusts two offenses in the league. The Eagles and the Packers. You know what he said about the Packers? Their defense is amazing. We all know that. But you know what he said about their offense? By the end of this year, they will be better than they were at the end of last year with Devontae Adams.
Well, I'd say I trust Kansas City as well. Yeah, those Chiefs, they're something.
Kansas City wins the nightcap, and they won it handily. 41-31 over the Bucs. It wasn't even that close.
The only ball game of the weekend that did not have the two teams be within one score in the fourth quarter.
Correct.
Yeah, I was very upset that game because I had Tom Brady on my fantasy team, but I was going against Gentry. And guess who Gentry had on his fantasy team? Mike Evans.
Yep.
So as he's throwing these touchdowns, Mike Evans is getting
You're getting
two more
4, he's getting 6.
Exactly, and I didn't even know that was a thing. I told you I'm new to this game. But with the Chiefs, you see the spin move pass by Patrick Mahomes.
Amazing.
Travis Kelce said he's the Houdini of our era. I don't know if I go that far, but I will say this is he's a guy that makes plays, man. He extends drive. He's deceptively, he's not fast, but he's deceptively elusive because he's been doing that since his rookie or since his second year in the league.
And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is making a comeback.
92 yards and a touchdown.
Having a good year, and the Raiders won their first game. Congratulations.
Hey, there we go.
Raiders.
There we go.
They beat the Broncos.
Let me know when he gets here. Keep chopping. Tuck coming. Let me know when he gets here. Available right now. T-shirts, hoodies, whatever you want. WoodwardSports.com. WoodwardSports.com. Click on the shop tab, and there you have it. Get yours. Gift your Michigan friend this shirt or hoodie. And, of course, you can do it. If you got a Michigan State friend, I'm sorry. But you can gift them one as well. When's Tuck coming? We want to know. But
to be
we
honest,
also,
if I'm a Michigan State guy, if I'm a Michigan State girl, if I'm a fan of Michigan State, that's a real question.
We are going to get into some college football momentarily, but first we are also going to get into the Swift coverage play of the week. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Swiss.
Time to talk about Swiss, not Hammond Swiss. Swiss Insurance Group. Did you know that 1 in 6 kids will develop a medical condition that makes them uninsurable? Swiss Insurance can save you money on your auto and home, resulting in no out-of-pocket costs to insure your children. Check out Mark at Swiss Insurance Group and make sure your family is protected. And by the way, happy birthday to Mark, Swiss Insurance Group.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey gang, let me tell you about my good friend Michael Phillips. Looking to buy or sell your home, whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for 23 years make Mike the #1 option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips. The phone number 313-403-0010. 313-403-0011. Game on. All right, Tom Mazawey, WoodwardSports.com, Woodward Sports Network. Thanks to everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat. Maz, before we get to Braylon and his Swiss coverage play of the week, I do want to finish up our NFL news and notes and go around the horn if we can.
You bet, man. Did you know? This is the duh moment of the week. Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins head coach, says that Tua Tagovailoa will be held out of this Sunday's game against the New York Jets. Are you shocked?
I'm not shocked. And in fact, look, the doctor or whoever got fired that
right. The outside doctor
allowed him to play.
Misdiagnosed him.
I mean, if you're Tagovailoa's family, man, I mean,
there's a lot going on
that
we don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I have never seen somebody's gross motor skills do that.
No, it was a disaster.
You know,
and it's awful.
It is, man. That is a neurological injury.
We'll have to find out what happens there. I think he's going to be out for longer than 1 week.
And he should be.
He should.
Forget about football. We're talking about a young man's life and how he's going to function moving forward.
You know he's going to want to play. You know that.
Yeah, and that's where the adults in the room have to step up.
That's what that's malpractice. That's malpractice. Your job as a doctor, your job as an owner, your job as a president, coach, etc., everybody involved, you got to protect the players. And you have to protect them from themselves at times. They just want him on the field. They want him to go out there, give them the best opportunity to win the AFC East. At the end of the day, when Tua's 50 years old, they're not going to be there to hold his hand if he gets CTE or if he gets brain damage. You know who's going to be there to hold his hand? His family.
Yeah.
Got
to protect these players.
Remember Javid Best?
Oh, 100%. Out of Cal.
I mean,
the kid was superb. What a great running back.
But every time he got hit, man, after a certain time, after
it's like Wes Welker.
Yeah, I mean, after the major.
He was worse.
It's just so sad,
Welker?
man.
No. Javid Best was worse.
Than Wes Welker?
Yeah, I mean, he got hurt. If you really want to talk about it, he probably shouldn't have played professional football.
He got hurt at Cal.
Yeah. It was.
I remember the infamous play.
He bent right on his head.
Yeah,
bounced
he was
up.
way up in there too.
Bounced up on his head, man.
What
could have been?
That's a blast from the past.
Here's a couple of other injuries.
Wait a minute. This is a good question.
Yeah.
And Greg Hartman on the WoodwardSports.com chat. Should Tua retire? If you got 2 in a week like this, it doesn't get better.
Right.
I wouldn't.
That's up to him.
It's a legitimate question.
It sure
It is a legitimate question.
It sure is.
I don't retire, but with that being said, I do potentially sit out the rest of the season, or I sit out, 2 months to let the medulla get back balanced, get back on track, then maybe get an assessment from another opinion, get an outside opinion, and see how it goes in about a month and a half to 2 months. But I damn sure am not playing next week or the following.
I'll tell you what you do, and I brought this up to you, Bray.
Yeah.
Do you remember those ugly things they wore on their heads in practice?
The protectors, yeah.
The NFL will have to come up with a helmet. I predict this in the next few years. The NFL quarterback will wear that type of helmet. It will look a lot better, but it's going to look like Mark Kelso with the Buffalo Bills.
I remember that.
Way ahead of the time. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
not sure
remember
if that even helped him, but he had that extra protection on his helmet that was colored, just like the red Buffalo Bill helmet was back then. That's got to happen sooner than later.
They have some of that technology now. I know Dan Gilbert bought that company Zenith, and they were making those.
That's right.
Yeah, they bought that company.
Those helmets are
exactly.
Sharp,
that was about 4 or 5 years ago. It's just going to have to get implemented into the NFL.
It's an expensive helmet.
Expensive,
but it protects the.
It's expensive, but you want to keep seeing Tua.
Yeah.
Plays like that. I don't want to see it.
If I'm a quarterback, maybe it don't look that good. Have you seen Aaron Rodgers' helmet? It looks like you can eat a freaking sundae out of that helmet. Honestly, it does. It hardly fits him. He's got the one shin strap that never stays.
Old school.
It never stays on.
He got that from Brett.
I had that when I played.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Never came out the game.
Ever.
You can eat ice cream out of that freaking helmet. A couple other injuries. Cordero Patterson, who's a superb athlete. We talked about him.
Love him,
On
man.
IR, knee injury. Shouldn't have played yesterday.
Damn.
Played on IR, out 4 weeks. We're there. And the Broncos rookie running back, Javonte Williams.
Second-year running back.
ACL and a bunch of other stuff on his knee, Bray. It's not just the ACL. He killed his knee.
Oh, God.
So basically,
Terrible.
like you can do a couple different knee, I guess you could say knee injuries, if you will. There's the MCL, there's a PCL, there's an ACL, and then there's the meniscus. He did them all. That's full reconstructive knee surgery. So now I give you this: if Jamison Williams had that injury, I would have told Brown Holmes not to draft Jamison Williams. But the fact that Jamison only had just the ACL is very different.
And last one on the injury front. Did you hear about J.J. Watt?
Yes.
Someone leaked information.
Where they were going to leak the information.
They were going to, that he got wind of, so he wanted to beat the press to it. That he had AFib last Wednesday in practice. They had to shock his heart back into beating the proper way, and he played yesterday. There's his quote. Can you read that quote there?
Yeah,
or is it too small?
I can't read it. It's too small. But basically, what he said was, "Look, somebody was going to put this information out, so I'm going to put it out. I was in AFib, went to the hospital. It was shocked back into because AFib is just an irregular heartbeat, right? Well, I don't want to say just an irregular heartbeat.
But it's an irregular heartbeat.
It's an irregular heartbeat. You need it shocked back into rhythm." And he said, "I'm playing. End of story." Pretty emotional stuff. His wife or girlfriend, I'm not sure, having a baby,
She's
his
probably not
first
happy.
child. So he's very emotional about his being faced with his own mortality. I'm not a doctor. I would have sat out until I was absolutely sure that things were going to be okay. But I don't know.
Is there a difference with this? Now you look at with Tua. Now with Tua, it's head trauma. You think about CTE in the past. You remember Junior Seau, rest in peace, and how bad that was. So for the head injury like Tua, it's one thing. Got to protect him. Should sit out. Was no way he should have played. But something like this with the AFib, is it different? Do you see JJ and you're like, hey, it's on him, or should they protect him from himself as well?
You know where I see it with these players, like if I'm J.J. Watt, see ya.
I agree.
Seriously,
this is your 15?
Yeah, J.J. Watt's been paid $1 million
a couple
times over. If you're Tua,
he's injured every year.
I understand, but if you're Tua, you're still trying to create that generational wealth for your family, and I understand if you want to push it. I do. If I'm J.J. Watt, you have already created that generational wealth. Yeah. See ya. I'm out. I'd be done with it.
He missed 3/4 of the season last year. And then came back in the playoffs.
And the year before that,
and the year before that,
and the year before that too.
Now his brother's out this year.
Yeah, I'd be out, no doubt about it. Guys, we are going to take a break. I do want to get to your Swiss coverage play of the week. Bray will do that next. Touch on some college football tomorrow.
Are you sure you want to see it? You know it involves the Detroit Lions.
Tomorrow will be a big college football day. We'll do it next. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health as well as substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, and the S stands for stigma, because what we're trying to do is destigmatize mental health, destigmatize addiction. Sean Jordan and the NFLPA do an amazing job of having a conversation, getting you the information you might need to help yourself or someone you know. If you or someone you do know needs the information, needs the conversation, go to thesportsma.com and get all the information you need.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hey, everybody, get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. Almost like this. Get them from Big Frog
Ribbit.
in Novi. Get right down there. Tell them we sent you, and they will print you one up right on the spot. Step in, tell them that Maz and the boys here, Maz with Ermanni and Edwards show, has sent you. Go to Big Frog Novi right now. Get your free T-shirt or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
All right, time for the Swiss coverage of the week, and this is why you gotta have Swiss coverage. This is why you gotta let Mark cover you. Setting the scene for you guys right now. Third quarter of the Detroit Lions Seahawks game. 33 seconds left in the game. Seattle is on the 3rd and 16. Rashad Penny with this marvelous run. Check this out. Right here, you see the coverage. Off coverage right there. Rashad Penny is 3rd and 16. No reason why the Detroit Lions should be going zero blitz. Their coverage is not pretty good. Go to the next play on this one. You see right now they got the wide receiver up top, taking the cornerback out with a deep route. Got the linebackers coming underneath right here. Get the ball to Rashad Penny.
That's a lot of grass, man. That's a lot of open.
Third
Look
and
at
16.
that open spot.
Wow, look at the tight end down here.
Nobody on the second level.
Guess what? It's about to be. Go to the next play. See, this is why you need to have Swiss coverage, because you see that right there? No coverage, and he's about to take it to the crib, and this, I believe, is the nail in the coffin for the Detroit Lions. Next play. Next graphic. He gone. As
That's
my
just
boy
disgusting.
DJ Tom T always says, he gone. And this is why you have to have Swiss insurance. And once again, happy birthday to my man, Mark from Swiss.
Well done.
That is disgusting.
There he is, bro. Right there he is.
It was really the play of the game.
That was the kill.
That was the backbreaker.
That's the kill shot.
That touchdown was worth more than a penny.
That was the backbreaker. No doubt about that. I do want to get to our numbers yesterday. I want to let you, ladies and gentlemen, know Tom Mazawey is on a run that you only dream of if you play sports gambling. If you're a sports bettor, this run that Tom Mazawey on is, I've been around for a long time. I have not heard of this run in quite ever, really. 12-0-2 in back-to-back weeks. It is almost must listen to digital YouTube website, WoodwardSports.com.
Just watch us.
Just watch us.
It's the real Woodward bets right here.
That's it, baby.
Maz, I don't even know how to describe this. I mean, this is only something you dream of.
It's a good run, man. I've been locked in this year. I just feel it. And last week when I had that Colts over the Chiefs, you just know it.
Yeah.
And when I saw that Patriots getting 10 against the Packers, they have no business playing with the Packers. They're down to their freaking rookie quarterback, but I knew damn well they were going to cover that game. Hell, they almost won the damn game. And I knew the Chiefs were going to come back and smash the Buccaneers. So a couple good matchups, and it just worked out that we picked the right 7 games this week. And we got 2 ties in that game. We got the Ravens-Bills game, and there was one other 3-point game that went that way as well. So we got a couple of busts on those games. But it's a good run. I hope if you guys listened, you might have bet them.
I'm over it. I can't seem to beat you guys in betting on the games. I can't seem to win in fantasy football. I'm just quitting everything.
Well, I mean, if you look at the three of us collectively here, we're not doing too bad. I mean,
not at all.
19-7-2 for Maz, who is 12-0-2 in his last 2 weeks. I'm 15-11-2.
That's not bad at all.
That's pretty, if you're playing,
you're winning with
regularly.
Those numbers.
And I'm 15-11-2. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. But come at Maz with a 12-0-2 week, 7-0 2 weeks ago, 5-0-2. My goodness.
You know what that means, right?
I have more wins.
I'm due for an offer.
Yeah, you are.
This week.
But even Braylon at 13-13-2, you're only losing the VIG.
That's it.
You
Very
know?
true. I don't know what that means.
That means you're breaking even.
Nah, I'm messing up. I'll take it, but you know what, guys? It's a long season. We still have 22 weeks of this, so I'm not tripping. Or 18 weeks, excuse me.
Guys, just to turn our attention to college football for a little bit.
College football?
College football.
Hey, man.
We're going to do it tomorrow, but let me know when he gets here. That's Michigan State. I do want to talk about Michigan quickly.
Okay.
That was a really, really, really good win on the road at Iowa, as far as I'm concerned. J.J. McCarthy to go to Iowa and not turn the ball over, win a game in Iowa, the first Michigan win at Iowa since 2005. Braylon, that's 17 friggin' years. And I know they don't play there every year, but my goodness, this defense came to play. The offense did what they had to do. Blake Corum looks like every bit the Heisman hopeful that you want on a team that's competing for a championship. You were there, Bray. I mean, just your impressions of the Michigan win and your experience in Iowa City.
The energy was electric. Michigan fans, they show up, they come out, had a good time. From the start on the airplane to the landing, it was just a great time. Great to be around Michigan people on the road. Iowa was very gracious. They were great fans as well. But that was one of the games, Ryan and Monty, I just wanted to win. Mm-hmm. Like, when you play Iowa at Iowa, you're really just looking to escape. You want to make sure you win a game. And you can say they weren't good. Is what it is. It's still a tough place to play. But not only did they win, they controlled the game the whole time. They ran the ball. JJ hit some throws. He's 75% completion rate right now on the season, which is really good. Blake Corum looked good. He sealed it with a touchdown at the end. And as I'm looking at Michigan, Michigan has the best schedule that God could have ever created for young J.J. McCarthy, for transitioning offensive coordinators, transitioning defensive coordinator, and new plays. You got Iowa and Iowa. You run that. You see how the season start. You're easing J.J. into the fire. You're easing him into the thing. This week, they come back. Easy game for that. I mean, easy game this week at Indiana. Then you go to Penn State. That'll be a tough one. But guess what that game is? It's at home. Then you get a bye week before Michigan State. Then you get Illinois, another easy one. Then you get Rutgers, another easy one. And then you get the big dogs down south. The schedule is shaped up perfectly. And for everybody, stop moving the goalposts back. Like, stop moving the goalposts back on Michigan. It's always, they opened up against Colorado State. They played Hawaii. They played UConn. Maryland's not that good. Iowa's not that good this year. Everybody in college football looks beatable. I saw Ohio State struggle against Notre Dame. Saw them struggle a little bit at the beginning of the Rutgers game. Georgia almost lost to Missouri. Alabama doesn't necessarily look like world beaters. USC struggles. They don't have depth. Everybody in the conference, everybody in the country looks to be beatable. Why not Michigan? Why not now?
And it's hard to win in college football.
It is tough.
It just is. It's hard to go through a season.
Ask
unbeaten.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Oklahoma looks like a disaster. Like how does
with Venables?
How does you have those people, right? Brent Venables, who takes over a perennial double-digit win team with college football playoff aspirations week in, year in, year out, and just totally craps the bed. Meanwhile, you have another guy in Lincoln Riley who goes to USC who, man, they can't win 10 games for their life over the last decade, and they are top 6 in the country and look like they're a real threat to make it to the college football playoff.
Well, when we take a guy in Caleb Williams,
it's just incredible.
When you take a quarterback from Oklahoma and Caleb Williams, that last year at one point people were really impressed by him. He's a Heisman caliber type quarterback. Then you go pay Jordan Addison $5 million and you steal him from Narduzzi at Pitt. Instantly, it turns your program around, just like I was talking about Jamison Williams. Those wide receivers, those type of high-impact, dynamic players, they change the face of your team. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It's only week 5 or week 6. That's all good, but you win how you have to win. One thing I like about Michigan, they seem like they can win any type of game. Now, I know it's still early. We will get to the nuts and bolts of it. Want to see them against Michigan State. Although they're not good, it still is Michigan State. You can never count them out, and vice versa. But they can win a close game. They can win blowouts. They can run the ball. They got JJ with the RPO. Defense get to the quarterback. They corral you. Every time you see somebody get tackled, it's about 5-6 guys in on the tackle. So they can win multiple ways.
Michigan favored by 21 in Bloomington. And Michigan State, a 25.5-point underdog at home against Ohio State.
That's it.
This coming weekend.
Michigan's a really nice team, man. This could be one of those special seasons that sets up again. Everything is in place for them to compete in Columbus and go for it all against the Buckeyes. I think by then, JJ will be battle-tested. I think anytime you play on the road at Iowa, you're going to face Michigan State, a rivalry game throughout the records. You're going to play Penn State. He'll be battle-tested by the time you get to Columbus.
You know what this Michigan team reminds me of, Maz and Ryan? It reminds me of 2012 Notre Dame. 2012 Notre Dame,
They went to the playoff.
No, they went to the national championship. That was before the playoff. That's when they got smacked by Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody was talking about Notre Dame like that before the season. They start stringing together some W's, stringing together some wins. Here, insert Manti Te'o. He has 1 interception, 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions, 4 interceptions, 5 interceptions. He has 8 sacks. That's the kind of season Michigan's having. Nobody thought much about Michigan going into this year. Well, some people did with the rankings, but they lost Mincer. They lost McDonald. They lost Gaddis. Harbaugh was floating. They lost David Ojabo. They lost Aidan Hutchinson. That was coming into the season. Slowly but surely, they're starting to creep up the right way. Very similar to that 2012 Notre Dame team.
How would you feel if Michigan State pulls the huge upset?
They won't.
And beats them. I'm just asking you. Because they will be ready for that game. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
If Michigan State,
ready.
I'd be sick to my stomach if it happened. I'd be sick to my stomach if it happened. But I got news for you. This is going to be blowout city.
Yeah.
Michigan,
it never is.
Michigan is going to. It should have been last year. Listen to me.
2019.
It should have been last year.
D'Antonio's last year, they whooped them.
Yeah,
it should have been last year. There is no telling how that game would have gone if Hutchinson sack, fumble, touchdown. If that was able to live, you have no idea how that game would have turned out.
Yes, we do. They would have won the game. It's the worst call I have ever seen in the rivalry. Legitimately, how do you overturn a touchdown? And we knew it was a touchdown. Do you know the momentum that Michigan would have had in that moment? That game would have been a blowout.
Yeah.
It's no different than when Drew Stanton gets injured in 2004. Like, that momentum shifted when Drew Stanton got injured. We walked into the locker room. It was a different game. It was like, oh, shoot, he's out. Whew, we got a chance because Drew was kicking our ass. It's the same thing.
Got to take a break. Come right back. When we do, we'll just give our initial thoughts on Michigan State. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
Hey, and Hamtramck, Chris Hutt. Hey, he's coming too. Tuck loves the Folding Warehouse. Did you know that? He's going to be there, Chris Hutt. Watch out for him. 2 ways to play this game. $12 unlimited open play and a private lane reservation. 2 hours you get the place for. And you have 10 or 12 of your best friends or family on the lane with you. Only run you $120, so less than $10 per person. Only $10. How about that? Any drink you want, multiple full bars, and over 100 beers to offer, plus the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in, have it delivered, chill out, and have a great day. Get your fold on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
In case you didn't know it by now, Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor here at Woodward Sports. You can see all the beautiful walls and decorations thanks to Planet Fitness, also the home of the Judgment Free Zone.
No
you can work out for just $10 a month.
$10?
Only $10?
You can, or upgrade to that black card, unlimited guest privileges. That means you bring in anyone you want to the place. Hydro massage and more. Join in club today or go to planetfitness.com.
Fletch and JB in the house, killing it today. We certainly appreciate these guys. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, final segment of the program, Michigan State. I'm telling you, each and every week I come out here, I'm enjoying it, but I didn't anticipate it to be this bad.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to the question, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Are we sure that Mel Tucker is the guy? Are we sure?
You asked that question last year when, and I got to give you a lot of credit. You asked the question when Mel Tucker received the contract extension, $10 million a year, and I said, look, he's a good coach. He's in the right spot. It'd be good. I gave you pushback. I said, why are you worrying about Tucker getting $10 million? I said, he's a good coach. He's good. He deserves it. Ryan Ermanni, I stand corrected, man. Like, he has no record. He has no proven track record, no resume to command $10 million. And now you're saying that if you start doing the math on it, year 1, 2-6. I get it. It's COVID year. You say the fans, we throw that game out. Guess what? The Regents and the president, they don't throw their record out. Year 2, you go 11-3. But the games that matter. You lose to Purdue when you had a chance to control your own destiny. You get mocked by Ohio State, who took the foot off the gas at the start of the third quarter. And then you come into this year, ranked 14, going into the season, ranked 14. You got Peyton Thorne, the quarterback. He's supposed to take the next step. Got a nice receiving core with Mosley, Keon Coleman, and Jaden Reed. They can't get the ball because Peyton isn't good. The offensive line is young. They can't block anybody. You could get a sack on this Michigan State team, Ryan Ermanni. And then on the defensive side, Jacoby Wyndham's been a bright spot for you at the left rush in. But outside of that, nobody's getting to the quarterback. And then the one guy you had in the secondary, Xavier Henderson, is out for the season.
Yeah.
It's killing you. You know how bad you have to be the worst of something in college football? They're the worst secondary in college football.
Just the other thing floating around. Can anyone hear me, by the way?
Yeah, we can hear
I've heard that there's some people on here that say we can't hear Maz, but that might be a good thing. Anyway, this is on Twitter as well. This one made me laugh. Mel Tucker really made $95 million by smoking cigars and calling rushing plays for Kenneth Walker III.
Well, again,
these are the things that are going
place,
on.
Right time.
And again, God bless him. He struck lightning in a bottle with that one player.
He is a marketing whiz, by the way.
And
he is.
He is. He's great. He's a great. We think he's a great recruiter, but that one player really made up for a lot of deficiencies in that program. And it got him paid.
It's so interesting how fast it can turn. You know, you kind of forget about the 2-6 year during COVID. They go 11-3 last year. Kenneth Walker should have been at the Heisman. So everybody's riding high. They go down and beat Pitt with Pitt's third-string quarterback in the bowl game that they played in. Oh man, okay. This is looking good for Michigan State. They beat Michigan 2 times in a row. We can't beat them for some reason. It's looking good. They're ranked 14th going into the season. And now here they are at 2-3. Now the whole narrative changes because they're probably going to win 2 more games, and that's it.
Your guy R.J. Young had them ranked top 10 and had Michigan out of the top 10.
Shocking.
Isn't that something?
Shocking.
And
but
I
now,
said 7-5 this year, and everybody was calling me clown. Making videos about me and everything like that. I'm like, hey, look, who's the clown now? You clowns.
You win 2 more games. I see you over there.
Am I funny like a clown?
You win 2 more games. Now, next year, this is a whole different conversation as opposed to talking about Tuck, his dominance, and what he's doing in the Big Ten and him really building his legacy. Now you're talking about if Michigan State goes 6-6 next year, he might get fired. It's crazy.
It is, man. And again, I go back to everybody was so worried about the LSU thing last year. Yeah. I don't know what you're thinking about. Yeah. I never saw that he actually was offered the job to where you had to like jump at this. Like maybe his name was mentioned on some blog somewhere or something like that.
Somebody got
But
paid.
do we know that LSU was actually actively trying to hire Tuck Cummins?
It's more so.
By the way, woodwardsports.com, go to the shop, and you can get your. Let me know when he gets here.
It's about his background, though. I mean, you look at him, he had ties to LSU, he has ties to Georgia, he has ties to Alabama with Nick Saban, he has ties to the SEC. So I think people were like, you know what? This could be a real deal. Two people that got lucky as hell last year is James Franklin and Mel Tucker, because both of those teams, both of those schools got nervous and they paid those guys the bad when they really didn't have to.
So funny. These guys in the Woodward Sports Chat, you're funny. I can't read some of them.
They are good. Spartan Dog. For life.
All this clowning, man. We better beat them boys, because if they mess around being 3 in a row, we'll never hear the end of it.
You know what? As long as we beat Ohio State with the Big Ten championship, I want to win.
We lose Michigan State. I'm not coming to work.
I'm
taking a week off.
I think you're going to be fine this year.
Nah,
We'll
bring Brian Masalam in for you.
I love Brian.
That's what I mean.
Get us out of here, Bray.
Great week,
Take
man.
you to the woodshed.
Tomorrow, we will talk more in depth about college. We will get into the NCAA landscape.
I want to hear about your trip, too, with Urban.
We will, man. We'll talk about the trip. Urban Meyer, Reggie Bush, Brady Quinn.
How about those MILFs?
Oh, man. It was a lot of those in Iowa, man. But a lot of fun. Great impact. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We got a lot of special guests for you this week, so we won't spoil it. Got a lot of special guests for you. But for my man, Maz on the couch, JB in the booth, Fletch to my right, and my brother from another mother, Ryan and Ermanni. We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Let me know.
See ya.
Hey, when's he coming?
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.